everybody. This is Kristin, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Connect with KB. Great to have you tuning in with us as we talk about business and education, leadership, and all the wonderful things that connect us to each other. My guests today are Suzanne Greenberg and Amy Loepp with the Michigan Children's Trust Fund. They're gearing up for the 20th anniversary Pam Posthumus Signature Auction on May the 17th. It's going to be a wonderful event. And here to talk with me today are both Suzanne and Amy. Welcome to the podcast. Great to have you with me.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Great. I want to start with you, Suzanne. Tell me the Michigan Children's Trust Fund story.
Wow, what an honor. First of all, thank you so much for having us. And the more we can spread the word about the great work that's happening around the state, we get very excited to do this sort of duet we do here. But frankly, the trust fund started with some true visionary leaders, with Senator Debbie Stabenow and working together with Speaker Curtis Hertel Sr. And they decided that this was something that we could do to raise dollars and have a trust fund available to focus on the prevention of child abuse, which back in 1982 was truly visionary. I mean, we only had our child protection laws beginning in 1975 here in Michigan. So it was very visionary. And, you know, the two of them then got the support that they needed so that Governor Milliken signed it into law. And the story essentially was that they felt it was important to have dollars available for prevention, but in the local communities, that we could decide in our county, each county could decide what was needed, what the families needed, what the community needed in order to really protect children. And we didn't do the protection. I come from 25 years up in the Saginaw Bay City area and just moved into this area recently. And it really is, the work is just so important. We have 83 counties and we have programs serving every single one of those counties. And the reason that's important is that because it comes from those local communities. So I would say that was the original vision. And I would also proudly say that it continues today, that our mission, while it changes words here and there, it still has its focus in the prevention of child abuse and neglect.
Well, it's so good to have you in Lansing, and I appreciate your energy. I think you're a great fit for this role as Executive Director of the Michigan Children's Trust Fund. Amy Loepp, you are the chair. You and your husband, Dan, are co-chairing the 20th anniversary Pam Posthumus Signature event on May the 17th. Let's talk a little bit about that, the role that you're playing there, and then if you want to talk a little bit, too, about the organization and how the programs are working to prevent child abuse, that would be great too.
Sure, thank you. Yes, so I've been the chair almost 2 years. Suzanne has 1 year up on me, so she's newer to the organization too. So it's been great. Where there's a lot of opportunity to do even more than has been done in the past. So we're very excited about that. So while we do have that base funding from the state, we also know that we want to give away more than that. Therefore, we have this fundraiser every year. And yes, Dan and I agreed to chair this year, and we put a pretty big goal out there. Last year we raised $500,000. This year our goal is $550,000. And I'm very happy to say we've surpassed that. We're over $650,000.
Wow, congratulations.
With more to come. So we had to reset our goal, which is now $750,000. And what we also know, in addition to that, what we also know is that money can be pulled down from the federal government based on what we do receive. So we're very anxious to see how much we end up with in the end because of that.
Just incredible. What is it? How do people go about finding resources? How do you connect with families that are in need? And talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. First, this most simple way would be to come to our website where they can find us I do this every time. I will get
it's
the
okay.
website.
Yeah, you bet. Absolutely. So, take your time. It's all good.
They come to the website in order to, here it is. I apologize. It's michigan.gov/CTF. And what you'll see there is a state map so that you can press into the community that you live in, push the mouse there, and then it'll show you what program is available. We have a lot of that information. I brought that with me as well, but you can go right on the website and find that. And so then folks can connect locally with that program that we support. And we have, interestingly, Kristin, we have programs in every community that focus on what is known as primary prevention. So working with families or giving information to the community before anything happens. And the other form of programming is secondary prevention, where we work with families who may need home visitation or parent support and education to be the best parent they can be.
Well, I applaud you. I know that there is a child as a victim of abuse, I think, or neglect every 20 minutes, and close to 30,000 children have experienced abuse in Michigan over the last couple of years, I believe. So this is an issue that really needs prevention. Mm-hmm. It needs education. And so I applaud CTF for doing this work. How do you go about when, how do you find and measure the success of what you do? Do you have an opportunity to go back in and evaluate families and parents after the fact?
Many of the programs that are being operated in the communities are evidence-based or evidence-informed. So there's already a built-in evaluation tool. It is something that we are moving toward doing a better job. At the state level, our data systems have been a little bit behind. So we're working very strategically with the Department of Health and Human Services to see how we can improve that. But at the local level, they are doing the work and doing that evaluation. And we also have some amazing programs that have been kind of homegrown. And I look forward to, in the near future, being able to contract or work together with these phenomenal universities and research folks we have to be able to look at those and create and do the evaluation necessary to make them an evidence-based program.
Yeah, that's really neat. And, that data is so important, mm-hmm. and the opportunity to really understand, the measurables of it and keep those statistics. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and CTF is planning a pinwheel garden at the state capitol for National Child Abuse Prevention on April the 26th. I will tell you, I was walking in downtown Grand Rapids this weekend. It was the cutest little thing when I walked down the street and saw all the pinwheels out in front of Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it made me think of you both. So you want to talk a little bit about that, Amy?
Sure, happy to. Every year, Blue Cross Blue Shield has a charity of choice, and this year we're working with the Children's Trust Fund. So it gives us a great opportunity to involve our workforce, my husband's workforce.
Which is your workforce too.
And, various partners across the state. So one thing I know we're really excited about is that, this is always, as Kristin, has been really a very Lansing-centric event. And we're thrilled with that. But what we know is there is a lot more opportunity. So we're trying to get some of that information out in Southeast Michigan, across the state with our partners. I know Traverse City had a pinwheel garden too. Mm-hmm. So we're just really excited to bring more awareness of the Children's Trust Fund. We're also going to be launching our rebrand at the event. Mm-hmm. So we're really excited about that. Because it gets a little confusing if people don't automatically understand what those words mean. The Children's Trust Fund doesn't really tell you what we do.
You bet.
So we're excited about working on that. And I think, it's really important that people understand that we don't claim to be the experts in each community, mm-hmm. that's why we have a partner in each community, in each county across the state. And
do they have a network with each other? Is it become like an association where they get on and they talk best practices?
So that's funny you say that, because mm-hmm. That's always been the analogy in my mind is that Children's Trust Fund we aren't the boots on the ground, mm-hmm. but we are the convener and the supporter. So we get to give money to these various counties just for the help that they can bring.
And they do come together. We meet with them monthly, and so they are able to coordinate, and we're working right now to redesign how dollars are distributed and how those programs are networked so we can strengthen that and set up some mentorships and other things that they've been asking for. It's really exciting when they come together, because no matter if you are in Keweenaw or in Wayne County, you're doing something that everybody wants to learn from. So it is really a wonderful opportunity. They love to learn from each other. And frankly, we do provide technical assistance, we provide resources, but they together can say, how do you work with churches? How did that work with the local children's hospital? Those sorts of things are nuggets that we may not have.
Oh, that's really neat. I love that best practices from people and the collaboration to share and mm-hmm. to be open to from learning from each other. Talk to me a little bit about the importance of the 20th anniversary of the Pam Posthumus auction event. I had the privilege of working for Dick Posthumus for many years, and I know and knew Pam well as Krista, Lisa, Heather, and Brian, all wonderful people. I want to talk a little bit about the significance of that. It is the 20th anniversary. That time went by really quickly. Let's talk about the event and what you plan to do on May the 17th.
Well, first of all, we're back at the Breslin Center, which is so exciting to be in person. We'll also have a virtual component, so we encourage people, if they're in another part of the community of the state, they can't get there. But I think the significance is that it was someone's vision, and it was Pam Posthumus's vision, that this was something that we needed to do. We needed to create an event where we raised critical dollars. As Amy said, when we raise any private or state dollars, we can then get those multiplied at the federal level to have more programming dollars available. So every single dollar is so vital. And Pam saw that, and she understood and made it happen. And together with a lot of other people have continued the support. And we're actually honoring Dick for that connection. And the children have been connected. And it's really wonderful to watch that generational shift, and for him to be so proud of his children and their current accomplishments, but also just sharing the importance of what was really important to their mom.
Oh, for sure. Pam was and still is in so many ways. When you see the kids reflect back on their relationship with her, she was an incredible mother, is an incredible mother, and she was an incredible mother to all of us too. All of the Posthumus staff people were like her children as well. So this was a natural fit for Pam to work with children from all over the state. You've already said it. You said you were going to raise $550,000. You've already surpassed that. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would probably like your phone number, Amy and Suzanne, so that they could get you on their fundraising program too. How does the federal funding work? When people give to this, is it a match or just a portion? And when I say this, I want to know really how do you continue these efforts to build on it and to raise dollars because they're so critical?
I think this is really something that Amy's really brought her perspective to this, is that we do get a nice base of funding, and our dollars that come from the federal government, we have a base of funding that does come, and we're appointed by the governor to receive those dollars to do child abuse prevention. But it is about $1.3 million, and it helps us to do a portion of the programs around every single county. So that's not very much money to divide in 83 ways. The bottom line is that we are able then to every personal, private, corporate dollar we can raise then can be multiplied. It's not a one-for-one match. It's based on how many other private dollars are raised across the states. And there's some states that do it better than others, so we want to be among those that do the best job at it. And some folks receive in the millions, multiple millions. And so our goal is, frankly, the more we can raise dollars is equal to the more we raise awareness. The increase in awareness, like doing this type of podcast, is so valuable, just so that simply people understand that child abuse can be prevented. Simple. Like, I think we all know that, but how is it being done? And so for folks to feel like they have something a part that they can play, a role for them, is really important.
Amy, how are you and Dan leveraging your network to do this? And when you talk about, it's been so Lansing centric, but that, you're trying to step out and build that footprint throughout Michigan, how are you doing that?
I mean, really, it's been through a lot of work by Blue Cross Blue Shield and us just talking with our friends, but the machine of Blue Cross Blue Shield, Suzanne Miller-Allen.
Love
a huge part of that. Yep.
Yep.
So, they're working with partners, they're calling them, they're knocking on doors. And in addition to Rebecca Baher-Cook and her team who are doing their own set of knocking. And
amazing.
So it's just really a matter of reaching out to all these who can. I know we've did an op-ed, we've done some various letters, different pieces on LinkedIn, et cetera. So just trying to get it out there. And truly, so many of our friends down there, unless they worked with the legislature at some point, just really didn't know what we do or how we do it. And that's why we're excited to get more.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, it is an incredible event and the number of items that people can bid on. And I know people who have walked away with dogs. They had puppies now. They're puppies now, 10 years old. And, it's not a puppy anymore. But there's so many opportunities for people to bid. What are some of those things that would entice people to participate? And can you do it online as well as being there in person at the Breslin on the 17th?
Well, we should mention that's the other part of the goal. In addition to the money that we want to raise and get some of that money pulled down. Of course, it's a formula. It couldn't be as simple as that, right? So we also have a goal of 550 people in attendance. So between virtual and live, we're hoping the vast majority of that would be live. I think Rebecca said that if everyone came, it would be over 600.
Okay.
Right
Absolutely.
now. 600, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And, the items, we have committees, in addition to Amy and Dan and their leadership, we also have committees that are led by lots of different folks, and several of them have been with us for 20 years. It's pretty amazing. And why this really works is that it's also led, in addition to our honorary co-chairs, we also have the support of the 4 quadrant leaders. So they work together with their caucuses and purchase things that we can auction off, and they make it that we have the most amazing array of trips. So, and we have generous donation from Delta Airlines, who provides us airline tickets for some of those. So it really is such a nice collaboration of tremendous leaders who make it possible. But I also want to say that there are folks that have been chairing the gift committee and the sponsorship committee for so long, and that use every ounce of their network and the friendships they've built in order to benefit our organization. So it is, as someone who's newer to this community, it is really such a blessing to have all of that.
And it's going to be in person at the Breslin Center.
Yes.
So I have to believe that people are just ready to get out and mix and mingle with their friends. And when you talk about that type of, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't surpass that in regards of the number of people come out, because people are ready.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, the end of the day, as Suzanne mentioned, this was a bipartisan piece of legislation 40 years ago. It's a bipartisan event. We have, all, and on our committees, we have all different types of people that are working in our local community here in Lansing. And that, how can preventing child abuse and neglect be political? I mean, who says no? Who couldn't say no to that? It's kind of as I say, a no-brainer that it's something easy to get behind.
Absolutely. Share with us again before we sign off how people can get connected, and how much are the tickets, and can you buy a table, and is there sponsorship still available, and do all you can to promote right now.
Well, sponsorship, unfortunately, our timing is off, and it does end today. But having said that, that just simply means that you won't be in some of the written materials in advance. We are always willing to take people's donations.
Absolutely.
You're out.
Because during the event, we'll be doing something called a mission moment. So even if someone called us from this broadcast and said we wanted to give $1,000, we could then utilize those dollars. We're going to be raising money to purchase safe sleep sacks for babies that otherwise wouldn't have them. So I'm very excited about that. But folks can come to our website, that same website I gave earlier, and find the information to register. Everyone who attends virtually or in person needs to register. The tickets are $150 each, but you can attend virtually at no cost. So they'll be seeing the program portion. They'll see the live auction, as well as when we celebrate our honorees for the evening. And that's really all there is to it. It's pretty straightforward and simple.
And with the virtual component as well.
Yes. Well, I am looking forward to being there on May the 17th. I applaud the work that you're doing. I'm excited to come out. It's going to be like old home week for me, I think, when I get out there and I see so many people that I know. Thanks so much for joining me today. My guests, Suzanne Greenberg and Amy Loepp from the Michigan Children's Trust Fund. I want to thank my supporting sponsors, Marketing Resource Group, Dowding Industries, Governmental Consultant Services, AF Group, Public Affairs Associates, and Mercantile Bank. You can listen to all my podcasts at connectwithkb.com. Until we connect again, go live your best life. I'm your host, Kristin Belzer.